It's Thursday, it's 8 p.m, and it's the big metal detecting radio show.
Welcome to the Big Metal Detecting Podcast.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Hope you're all well this week. It's Thursday, what are we at now? Lost track of time. It's the 20th of February, 2020. We're joined shortly by our guest this week, YouTube's That's Brad, talking all things metal detecting, hopefully, and going over and having a chat about a bit of his magnet fishing and his YouTube channel as well. But we're going to try and concentrate tonight on metal detecting. Thank you all for joining us tonight, everybody on the Spreaker chat room and also on the chat room for the live TV version. Welcome all this week. So straight into our news. Big one today, which was popped up by the metal detectives. They made me aware of this one. A 3,000-year-old gold ring found in Cumbria. A small Bronze Age ring found in Cumbria has gone on display at a museum in Carlisle. The Penannular ring, which is mostly made of gold, dates back 3,000 years and will be showcased in the city's Tully House. It's the first of its kind to be found in this country and the second to be discovered in the county, not country, and the second to be discovered in the north-west of England. Now, if I remember rightly, we spoke on the year in review a couple of weeks ago about the one that Billy Vaughan found in Cumbria. I'm not sure if it's the same or even if it's the same size, but beautiful object anyway. Again, if you Google 3,000-year-old gold ring found in Cumbria, you will find that. Next up in the news, treasure hunters discover 2,500 medieval coins in a forest in eastern Romania. A museum curator said that the 7 treasure hunters dug up an earthenware pot containing the coins and handed their finds over to authorities. He said the 2,517 coins came into the possession of the Bałczow County Museum on Monday after they were found in a forest in the village of Spataru. He said the medieval coins have previously been found in this county, but this was the biggest find to date. Museum archaeologists have said gone to the site to learn more details about the find. Kostash said that the coins needed restoration work as they were in an advanced state of I'm having one of them nights I can't speak. Sound quality's all right, TV's all right, I can't speak. Degradation. After which, find a way to put them on display for the public. Nobody was available at the museum of Tuesday to provide any other details about the coins. Next up, construction workers stumble across old pots with £1,300 of ancient Roman coins inside. Now, this is in Tomares in Spain during this week. 19 pottery jugs were discovered in the Zouden Park where the workers digged ditches. The urns were packed with coins, showing an emperor on one side and various depictions of Roman stories on the back, reported the Spanish newspaper El País. Now, if you go onto Archaeology World and you look for the construction workers stumble across old pots with £1,300 of ancient Roman coins inside, you'll be able to see the images. My colleague Luke was kindly scrolling through the images on the TV version, and you can actually see the ditch and the old-looking pots, actually called amphoras, that were there in the pit. And absolutely stunning. 19 of these, all filled. Lots of images of them in the museum after excavation and whatnot. Beautiful find, absolutely stunning. The investigators floated up hypotheses that the money was set aside to pay imperial taxes or army levies, reported El País. The jugs appeared deliberately concealed underground, covered by a few bricks and ceramic fillers. But yes, please go and have a look at that, especially people who are interested in history, Roman coins, anything like that. Archaeology World, that website was. And finally, one of the first metal detecting reports of the past week that I put onto the Facebook groups, etc., was that of a Roman ring that may have a Roman snake ring was found in Buckinghamshire, declared treasure. The Roman ring would have been a circular with the snake's head touching, but it has been bent out of shape. Now, the ring itself is distinctive, has two cobra heads with a kind of frill. And this was actually found in 1985. Now, is that right? I do apologise, I'm reading it wrong now. The silver ring was found in Buckinghamshire by a detectorist in Essex. Items with the same distinctive cobra head were found at the Snettisham Jewellers Hoard in Norfolk in 1985. So, there we go, got that right in the end. But it's, again, a beautiful looking piece. All these articles are actually, it would be actually easier for you to find them on the big Metal Detecting Radio Show Facebook group as opposed to the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine because of the amount of things that are actually on there. So have a look on there and you'll be able to see that for people listening. So we've had another busy week, myself and Luke, keeping the new TV channel updated, the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine news with the help of all our kind friends on there. And we've been in a lot of communication with other people as well as each other. We've got waiting now for Luke to finalise one more thing that we'll be able to release in the coming weeks, which we're very, very both excited about. And then we've started construction now of the first edition of the printed version of Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine for this year, which will be available at the Spring Detectable, and you will see a banner coming up at the bottom of the screen at some point, and it will tell details for people who want. Spring Detectable tickets are available at detectable.com, but that will be coming up shortly, no doubt. But for those, again, listen on the radio, there you go. Also this week, the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally tickets have gone on sale. So if you have a look for that on social media, you'll be able to find more information. This is also on our Facebook group, the Big Metal Detecting Radio Show. So you'll be able to see all that there. And Gary Cook will be coming onto the show, hopefully, around the 19th of March, booked up until then. We've got Mark Beecher in a couple of weeks also. Next week, we'll talk about the guests coming up in the coming weeks during the run into the end of the show anyway. So first and foremost, good evening to That's Brad. How are you, Brad?
Hello.
Are you well?
Am I? Yes. Am I unmuted? Hello.
You're all,
yes,
you're all unmuted. You're running fine. You're a bit echoey, but we know the reason why, because of the location you're in. We're not going to give any spoilers.
Yeah.
How are you? You well?
I'm fine. How is everybody on the radio and the TV thing?
TV thing.
I'm waving. If you're on if you're listening, I'm waving.
if you're listening, the black ball is the one behind the pink. Oldies are the goldies. Brad, this is the first time we've come face to face since Detectable. You popped in up Detectable and said hello.
I did, yes. I've still got the goodies you gave me. I was going to give them away, do a giveaway, but it never came about. I'll have to do it. I'll get onto it. Don't worry.
And speaking of Detectable, was that actually the first major metal detecting event that you'd actually been to?
It was the only metal detecting event I've ever been to.
So I take it you were a bit agog at what you saw, the everything that was going on. Took you a while to take it all in.
It was all right. I've been to plenty of things just like the Detectable, except this time it was with metal detectors and not motorcycles. So yeah, I mean, to be honest, it seemed pretty normal.
Did you get to actually take part in metal detecting while you were there?
Yes, I did. And I was mainly with AT Prozac. I don't know if you know him. He's called Mark. We were out detecting all day. I think it was the Saturday when it was really hot. No, it was the Sunday. It was the Sunday, and I nearly fainted from heat stroke and dehydration because we walked to the far side of the event, and I didn't take any water or food. So yeah, that was fun.
I hear that. Luke and I done multiple broadcasts live in the field, and what was supposed to be probably about 30-minute broadcast ended up a good few hours in total. So yeah, I can totally understand that. I lost my voice. I was glad to get home and immerse my throat in water, to be fair.
we actually, well, when I say we, I made Mark stop with me, and we were eating berries, blackberries off the bushes along the field edge, just to get a bit of sugar back into the system because of obviously I was just drained. But yeah, I mean, it was a mint time. I found my first Roman coin there. I found my first clay pipe there, which yeah, I mean, I found a clay pipe in the middle of a field. It don't really happen that, so I was buzzing, yeah.
So you've been now, That's Brad's YouTube channel, That's Brad. How long has that actually been running for now?
Oh, I knew you were going to ask this as well. Probably about 4 years now.
Primarily that's been magnet fishing.
No,
No.
I actually started doing daily vlogs.
Oh, right.
And I ended up getting really poorly, and I had a salivary stone stuck in my neck, so I couldn't breathe properly. So I needed to make a vlog, so I went magnet fishing, and now it's one of the very most highly popular viewed type of videos in the UK.
That's
so
fantastic.
yeah,
I honestly
mean,
didn't know that you were doing the
daily
vlog.
vlog.
I thought you were primarily a magnet fisher.
No. Well, the thing is, though, my first ever magnet fishing video got like 60,000 views. So obviously, being a YouTuber, you're like, I'll do that again. And that got a lot of views, and it just carried on from there. I mean, if you go back to my first ever magnet fishing video, which I think is called Found a Sunken Boat Whilst Magnet Fishing or something like that, you can see a massive lump on my neck. It's proper sticking out, pushing into my windpipe.
And that's what you said, how you became ill, that was that.
Yeah.
Wow, that's mad. That is mad. And
I
you've
got
had a
that
lot
from
of
eating
success
a
with it. Sorry?
I got that from eating a biscuit.
Really? The amount of biscuits I have, I should have loads of them. Where was I then? Yeah, magnet fishing. You've made multiple magnet fishing videos now then. You've met a lot of people through the subject as well.
Yes. I think I'm on about, off the top of my head, I must be on around 120 magnet fishing videos that I've made.
Yeah.
I've travelled all over the country. I've gone to news, I've met thousands of people, spoke with thousands of people, and met loads of amazing people. I mean, if it weren't for magnet fishing, I wouldn't be here now. Sounds daft, but I wouldn't be where the channel is now.
Yeah.
And obviously, I metal detectors. Well, to be honest, it's anything history. I've always loved history-related things. And my first original video before magnet fishing and metal detecting was an urbex video of old abandoned buildings. So, yeah, I mean, I've always been in that sort of area anyway. And just over the years, this is where I've ended up.
So, obviously, you continue doing that. You've come on to metal detecting. How did that come about?
Well, originally, a fan sent me... I've always been interested in metal detecting, but it didn't tickle my fancy, if you get what I mean. But originally, a fan sent me a metal detector in fan mail. And I had a go, gave it a go. And I didn't particularly like it. It was a C-scope metal detector. And the problem I was having was all the beeps sounded the same. I mean, it just sounded like a beep. Everything. All the same type. And I was just digging iron and iron, loads of iron. So, I mean, obviously I didn't find it really interesting. But for some weird reason, I came back to it, and I don't really know why. I just did. And now, I prefer metal detecting more than magnet fishing.
So when you came back to it, that was about 6-7 months ago? No. I've been dabbling with it for probably about a year and a half, 2 years. Mm-hmm. But about 7-8 months ago, something like that, that's when I started to proper think about it, get into it, and be like, right, well, I need permissions, I need to get this done, and stuff like that. And that's when I started going out properly to metal detect. Using the C-scope?
No, I ended up buying a Garrett Ace 250.
The thing that the legends are made of. Absolutely fantastic starter machine.
I started with a C-scope. Yeah, started with a C-scope. Then bought an Ace 250. Then I got sent a Dr. Otech metal detector to play with. To which then I sold the Ace 250. And then I had like a hissy fit and left YouTube. And then I came back to YouTube and got a Nocta Macro Simplex. And
that is the go-to machine currently. How are you doing with that?
I like it. That it's got some stuff I don't like about it, but I do like it. It is a good machine, and it's fully waterproof. I mean, for the price, that's for a fully waterproof machine, and it is good. It's just there's little things that niggle at me, like everyone with every type of detector. They'll have that things that niggle at them. So I have mine with that, but other than that, I mean, it's great. Mm.
So what would you be, out of the four machines that you've used then, I take it C-scope wouldn't be your favourite. What is your favourite?
It'll be the Simplex, yeah.
And is it as simple to use as it states in the title? This
is coming from somebody who is very, very, very bad with technology. Yes, it's simple, but no, it's not. It's dead simple. If you just want to turn it on and go, it's great. But once you start getting into little details like discriminating and other stuff like that, it can be a little bit tricky to navigate. To which I've had plenty of help with South Coast Detecting helping me fix mine, because I managed to change all the settings on it to not read anything. So
he's a very lovely man, that Mr. Weedle, isn't he?
Yeah. Well, to be honest, without him, it would have been knackered. I proper messed it up. I don't know how I did it.
And what array of finds have you had then? Obviously, what did you have your Roman with? Was that with the Ace 250?
That was with the Ace 250, yes. It was the Ace 250 with a DD coil. Yeah, is it 14-inch DD coil? Something like that. I borrowed that coil off Digger Dawn. She lent it me because of I didn't like how small the coil was on the Ace 250, and as a newbie trying to get used to a machine, I want as much coverage as I can get. So yeah, she lent me her coil for it, which was very kind of her.
To be fair, Brad, when it comes to size, I prefer bigger for now. I prefer the bigger coils. I had a Nel Tornado on my Mine Labs, the Xterra 705, and of the 3 coils that come with the Ruta Salter 71, which I use now, I prefer the bigger coil again for just the same reason as yourself, ground coverage.
Yeah,
because I'm the size I am, my swings are possibly a little bit bigger than other people's, and therefore I need that little bit extra pickup personally.
Yeah, no, I completely get you. I mean, the Simplex, that comes with a quite big coil, on it, but it is standard. I would like, they haven't brought new coils out yet, but I would like them to bring out just a little bit bigger, so it gets that more ground coverage. I mean, I'm 6 foot, so when I'm swinging the metal detector, with the Simplex on full length as well, I just feel like a little bit more ground coverage would do me a little bit better, if you get what I mean.
I've just got a bump in now. Tony Kaywood's just asked a question. He's come on to watch on Facebook the show, and he's asked. He can see some of the comments, but not all. Tony, if you see in the little window here, currently says it currently says now Rob Random. Yes, Tony. If you see the little red logo for YouTube, then people like the one currently, El Campello, Detectorist Phil Griff, Treasure Ed, are all on YouTube, and you'll get John Bradbury. He's on Facebook currently. So, yeah, you've got multiple platforms that's this being streamed to. So, thank you all for coming to each and every one of those platforms. Thank you. It really does mean a lot to us. Sorry, Brad, I was just wanting to explain that to Tony, so he's old and he gets confused.
No worries. I'm surprised I actually got on here. I don't know how to work a webcam.
Do you know, I've just had a text while we've been speaking, Brad, and it's something that might interest yourself. I was tagged in a post. Jason Massey from Detective for Veterans, he's actually running, or he's looking at the moment for people who are interested. There's a dig coming up in Cheshire, over 600 acres of land, so I'm sure you'll be to be kept abreast of that.
Yeah, I'm actually on Facebook. Did you say Detecting Veterans?
I think, let me just check to you. Good evening, Scott and Kimmy. You've just hello to me on there. Yeah, it's in Detecting for Veterans, the Facebook group.
Yeah, I'm on their thing, so I'll see it anyway. So
I'll tag you in it as we speak, and then you're all sorted. There you go. There's the tag.
Yeah, I mean, group digs are what got me into metal detecting a lot more than anything, really.
So I've noticed you've been out with Digger Dawn. I've seen some photos of you, obviously, on Facebook, and she speaks very highly of you in that sense. Have you been on with a few with Dawn?
Only with group digs. We haven't done any private permissions as of yet. There is some stuff in the works there, so I'm not mentioning anything just yet. Yeah, I mean, it's always fun when I'm out with Digger Dawn. She's dead nice to me, and she's very patient when she's trying to explain stuff to me. Am
I right in saying that I saw you at I can't remember what the name of the business is, detecting holidays in Shropshire with us sometime last year.
Oh, no, that wouldn't be me. I don't think it was.
No. I thought I saw a picture of you there with a... I can't remember his name. Mine's gone blank. Robert I'm going to say his name wrong. Kenniston. He's a friend of the guy who runs the digs. We had him on as a guest on the All Metal Mode UK, but my mind's gone blank. Getting old.
No,
Anyway,
I've never gone to anything like that. I've mainly done club digs, and that will be with Happy Hunters, Highburn and Ribble Valley, and Underground Metal Detecting Group. Mm-hmm. And obviously Detectable and LP.
So you mentioned there the Highburn and Ribble Valley group. That's John Ferguson's group. They have a lot of good feedback. I've seen for a number of years since he started doing the digs. I've been a member of his Facebook page. Unfortunately, never been able to get up there, but I hope to one day. His digs are very well organised. They have a lot of luck on them digs.
Yeah, I mean, I've never had any good luck on the dig, but to be honest, I spend most of it talking. Everybody in the group is very friendly, and it's weird. It's like it's a little family, but you're not the outsider if you turn up. If you get what I mean, you're so welcomed. And to be honest, that's probably what got me into metal detecting more.
Yeah,
because I went on to that group dig, and I just loved it. It was great. I had such a good time, and every time I go, it's great. I have a laugh. I get to meet new people. I swear a lot when I don't find stuff. Throw my metal detector off somewhere. Yeah,
I swear a lot naturally, but I have to tone it down when I'm on the radio.
Yeah, so do I.
In fact, I got told off yesterday in work by a manager for saying to an apprentice that he was a big swear word because he was like 6'6" and 17. Shock value. Don't want them teaching people with the likes of me. We've had a few questions, Brad. What I've noticed, mainly magnet fishing currently. Scotty B asked earlier on, what would be your best magnet fishing find?
Well, that one's easy. I actually sent you a picture of it if you want to get it up, but it's 3 guns with... originally, it's 3 guns with 2 swords and a machete. The picture I sent you, I cleaned up, which is... there they are. They're on the screen. So I've got a Roman sword. It's a replica, by the way. And 3 pistols. 3 revolvers. I did actually find also a samurai sword and a machete, but those 2 were too far gone to clean, so on the screen now is just the ones that I managed to clean up.
And I take it you were a little bit gobsmacked when you brought them out of the water.
Oh, yeah. I mean, if you watch the video, the only things I seem to say is, oh my God. It got shared on Lad Bible on Facebook, and I ended up getting known as the oh my God guy. Because literally everything was like, oh my God. I was in shock. I loved them. Especially that center gun. The center gun was a 1850 Colt Navy, I think. I can't remember off the top of my head. I think it was 1852.
So, the story behind why they were actually placed in the canal, do you think that was more or less something to do with crime?
Yeah. Oh, definitely. The only thing is, I don't know whether they were used to rob someone or they were part of a robbery. So, as in, it was somebody's I don't know, household treasure, and they nicked them. And then to get rid of it, they just dumped it in the canal. I personally like to think that they were used as a robbery, so somebody's gone up to a shop with them, and it sounds nasty, but this is what I like to think how it happened. But they went up to a shop, did their business, had to dump them, and that's where they ended up.
And you became the proud owner of them. You still got them?
No. Someone off YouTube grassed me up to the police, and I was threatened with arrest if I didn't hand them in, so I had to hand them in, and I've never seen them since.
At least you've had the photographs and got to hold them and become known as the Oh My God guy.
Yeah, I mean, I love that gun, especially the Colt Navy. I mean, I've always been like a bit of a gun fanatic, and I don't really see them as weapons. I see them as works of art, and they were beautiful guns. They were so nice. But unfortunately, they've been chopped up, melted, and are probably part of your Coke can that somebody's drinking right now. Yeah, it's a shame, really.
Aye, it definitely is. There was another question, and I'm sorry, I can't... It might have been Jordan Cutler had a question. He's recently started magnet fishing. What tips would you have for somebody who wants to begin magnet fishing? I think he lives quite rurally, so he's looking at the best type of places to go.
Okay. Well, first off, if you go to my YouTube and click on playlists, there's a playlist called How to Magnet Fish, where I give you loads of tips on what to do and what not to do, and what to do if you find a bomb or grenade, loads of stuff like that. Saying it on here, I would say try and magnet fish mainly canals. Rivers and ponds have big rocks in, and you will probably end up losing your magnet, whereas a canal is mainly smooth because it was dug out of the soil and then lined with clay. So there's not usually big rocks or anything other than shopping trolleys or maybe the odd car or motorcycle that you can get trapped on. But if you are using a river, just be careful. I mean, like, if you start to get stuck and you yank it out and manage to do it, get it back, don't throw it in the same spot, move to a different spot, because I can guarantee you'll throw it back in the exact same place and you'll never get it out again.
I've actually just, the videos that you've mentioned, ArkMDMag.tv, which is our Netflix-like TV station that we've begun. I've just added them videos to our magnet fishing playlist. Obviously, you will automatically get the hits for that, but they're available if people go via there as well. And then, obviously, find yourself and subscribe to That's Brad, which I've just done because I didn't realise. There's so many people out there and so many people contacting me.
How can you do that to me?
It's not that. Honestly, there's so many people that, subscribe to this, and I watch videos and I forget so many people to do so. I've got multiple people saved, and I'm going to have a clear out at some point as well, because there's people who don't even make YouTube videos anymore for the last couple of years that are on my subscribe list. So I'm there now anyway. So for people who are watching on the TV version, this is the ArkMD Mag TV channel that you can see at the centre. This is ArkMD.tv. You'll see all of what's it about, and you'll see that one. You'll see there's descriptions and everything, and basically the one you're looking at the moment is the Metal Detecting for Beginners playlist. I don't know what Luke's doing anymore. Oh, he's gone. He's got it off quick. Don't know what he was doing then. But yes, there's lots of things there from as you've just seen, metal detecting for the beginners, your favourite YouTube metal detecting people, documentaries, Roman bits, Viking. You go there, you look, you'll find something that you want, and obviously what we do it for is to give people a one location place to go and find what they want, as we do with the news and everything else. They're all free services, so have a look on there and I'm sure you'll find something. And you'll now find in the magnet fishing section the how to magnet fish type of videos with about knots and such like by That's Brad, and you'll be able to find him easily and subscribe via there. Look at that one, dumps and bottle digging. I like that one.
That's something I want to do. I want to start doing bottle digging.
Do you know, Brad? I'll join you. I know one location. I've spoken to people in the past who do it quite often, and there was actually a news article in my local newspaper a couple of years ago which they asked me to comment on. A gentleman had a farm, and there was people coming from Liverpool to this farm near Congleton. I think it was actually Goresworth, where Goresworth Hall, Goresworth, the Jester and what have you is. And they were entering his site at night, digging up his ground, looking for bottle, etc. And the one thing I couldn't realise and suss out was how them people coming all the way from the Liverpool area, apparently, were coming all the way down to near Congleton to this one particular farm, to this one particular bit of land, to an exact spot where these bottles were. Couldn't suss it out because he'd not had any metal detectorists and everything on in the past. So it's always confused me as to how people know where to go.
Yeah, weird, isn't it?
It is. I was lucky to be shown one in Buxton by an old friend of mine, and there's a YouTuber, Ashman Diggs. He's from Buxton, and he actually goes to this same location that I know of. So that's the only site. I only knew about it because I was shown it. But middens, bottle dumps, anything like that always confuses me unless you're told directly by somebody. Always gets to me how people know where to go.
Though there's actually, whilst I was magnet fishing a river near myself, I actually found what looked like part of a bottle dump. So I would like to get there at some point. The land is unoccupied. It is just derelict land. So, and half of them are out in the open anyway, so you don't really have to do any digging.
Is a good friend of mine in the metal detecting community, Andrew Jones of Metal Detecting Britain and Beyond. He's, I think he was pointed out by a local pub. There was a dump behind there, and I know he had a lot of good luck bottle digging. I hate people. Yeah. In fact, my brother and a gentleman who lived across the road from me growing up, Mick, he's actually, in fact, I've got his business card here, I think. His name's Mick Murphy, and he's from United Cavers Exploration Team, and he's actually on one of the, if people go missing down caves and that, he's automatically contacted to go looking for them and help out, what have you, as part of that team. I can't remember what it's called. But obviously, being caving and what have you, in North Wales, they open up a lot of mines, they open up a lot of caves people haven't seen for years. And I remember as a kid, it's all coming back to me now, the amount of old bottles that he had from finding down these old shafts and caves and whatnot was phenomenal. And there's some really beautiful bottles as well.
Yeah, no, there's friends of mine, I don't know if you've heard of them, they're called Blazing Magnets on YouTube. They do bottle digging, and they got some beauties. They're mainly down in the middle of the country, like near Birmingham way. Although they don't like me saying that.
and also, some of these bottles, especially the old poison bottles, they could be worth a fortune.
Oh, yeah. I don't really know how much bottles are worth. I mean, like when we were magnet fishing, when I was magnet fishing with a friend of mine called Ash, when we were at this river where we found the bottle dump, and he found an old bottle. He looked it up, and it was worth quite a bit. I mean, for a glass bottle, you know.
There are a number of groups on Facebook which, you know, people discuss these finds and whatnot. But I've seen, you know, like salvage hunters and you know, the antique programs on TV. I've seen bottles pop up in the past, and you're talking for a small poison bottle some significant money. So yeah, something to look at, mind you. I don't think back and take it. I'd have to bring a JCB with me.
No, I'd love to do it. I mean, it's something that intrigues me. Like I said at the start, anything to do with history, I've always loved it. As a kid, you know, every Sunday my dad would take me to a castle. It was like our little ritual thing that we did. And I've just always been interested in history. So yeah, I mean, bottles, they're part of history. I'd love to do that, yeah. To be honest, I think we should go back to glass bottles, but that's getting into, like, weird stuff there.
No, it's not. Luke and myself were at the National Council for Metal Detecting meeting 2 weeks ago, and one of the things that was discussed was that of green waste, and obviously something that I think we're all in the metal detecting community, or most of us in the metal detecting community, are very, very passionate about, is that of plastic bottles and such like, especially when beach detecting. Again, Andy Jones, I mentioned earlier, people who are going beach detecting now are basically picking up a lot of litter themselves, so I definitely hear you there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm the same when I'm down the canal magnet fishing. I'm always picking up rubbish. I mean, there's just so much plastic waste. I think we should go back to the paper bag and plastic and glass bottles. I mean, it's a natural substance. It's made from sand, made from a tree. You know, why not go back to it?
And it's not just that, Brad. I used to be a milkman. My brother used to be a milkman. That'd bring a hell of a lot of jobs back, potentially, having a milkman delivering the glass bottles as opposed to the big plastic 4-pinters.
Believe it or not, I used to be a milkman.
Bizarre. Dale Farm on the Wirral.
Yeah, so
fitter then. I think I was about 16 stone lighter as well. I wouldn't have been. I'd be 5 stone now. I think I was about 5 stone lighter. Gosh,
I was only part time. I was mainly the helper. I was the runner. So what I'd do was get out the float. Someone else would drive. I'd get out the float and run the bottles up to the door.
Do you know one good story about my time as a milkman? I'm driving along in my milk float at 4 o'clock one morning. The roads are empty, absolutely empty. This is Heswell on the Wirral. And I'm driving along and something steamed past me. And it's honestly, no noise, nothing, steamed past me. And I thought, what was that? Yeah, it was Chris Boardman training. Absolutely. I'm doing, I don't know, 10, 15 miles an hour in electric milk float. And he just flew past me. There's another thing, electric milk floats. All right, the electric, the battery and such like comes from lithium mines and such like, but it's not petrol and it's not polluting the environment when you're driving a milk float around. So there's another good thing about going back to milk deliveries.
It'll just take you forever to do it, you know.
Especially them big hills. Yeah. So recently, Brad, when have you last been out and about, either metal detecting or magnet fishing?
The last 3 weeks, I've actually been out metal detecting. I only get 2 days off a week. One day I try to spend with my kids, and one day is strictly for filming, metal detecting, or magnet fishing. So the past 3 weeks, I've actually been out. Unfortunately, I've not been able to make a video because in the 3 weeks, I found one coin.
And what was that?
Don't know.
And you can't even show us a picture. It's not on the pictures you sent me at any chance, is it?
No.
Sadly. Oh, is that it?
Yeah. Oh.
Oh, now it's
That's
somewhere
gone.
else. Gone. Get the metal detector out.
So yeah, I mean, that's the only thing I found. So I've not been able to make video. But I mean, that happens. That's part of being a YouTuber. You know, sometimes you get good, sometimes you don't.
Yeah. What comparisons would you give between metal detecting and magnet fishing?
Well, this is my point of view. So magnet fishing, I'd say, is easy. Literally, turn up to a canal. Even if it's been done before, you are pretty much likely to find something all the time. You know?
Yeah, I beg to differ there, but carry on.
Well, you know, 2 weeks ago I posted a video, and for the first 7 minutes of it, I found nothing. So it does happen, but I know I can just go somewhere else and do it. I don't need to get permissions. I don't need anything. Literally, I just turn up with my magnet, throw it in. Dead easy. But then, metal detecting, I mean, you need permissions and stuff like that. And it is a lot harder. I mean, with magnet fishing, you just stood there throwing a magnet in. With metal detecting, you're walking across fields for miles. But on top of that, the finds are better. And, well, in my case, it's tin cans mainly, but you know, the finds are usually better. And I find it more therapeutic, more relaxing. Just being out in the field, listening to the birds. I don't have people coming up to me saying, "What are you doing?" Well, I did have one guy. He came running up with a shotgun, thinking I was poaching on the land, because the farmer forgot to tell him I was on there. So but that was funny. Mark pooed it. But yeah, AT Prozac. But yeah, it's so much more therapeutic for me. But I do love them both equally in a weird way. It's just I find metal detecting a lot harder.
And there's less likelihood of leptospirosis.
Well, yeah. I can't get ill from that, can I?
I don't know. You could eat a biscuit while you're metal detecting and it's gone then, isn't it?
Yeah, true. But I mean, it's just how you look at it. I mean, if you metal detect and you come over to magnet fishing, you will be like, wow, this is easy. I like this. This is good. It's just one of them. You know, it's just your preference. Mm. And we need to go magnet fishing.
Yes, certainly will. Very good idea. I'd obviously, when I go myself with the young man, I've been a number. Do you know another one of them stories, Brad? Myself, my brother, and my son, who's 7, Archeo Boy, as he's known in the videos, because he makes me do videos and put them on YouTube, even though I hate doing YouTube videos. We went to near Chester last year. Now, I've been tipped off of this place, and I know the location because basically all my years growing up was spent on my bike down the lanes towards Chester Zoo and such like, and I know this particular location very well. And someone I knew said, Dave, go here. There's all sorts of ornaments, such like military stuff that was dumped after the Second World War. So off we went, and I think we found about 28p, oddly, while we were there. Nothing else of consequence. You know, your normal nails, bolts, etc., etc. Nothing else. News article broke end of last year. All sorts of mortar shells in exactly the same spot I was at.
Yeah, what you've got to remember is you've got years and years of silt built up in the rivers and canals and stuff. So you've got to get through that layer first, and the only way of getting through that layer is by just dredging it, by pulling it off. I find that if you're on the canal, if a boat goes past, throw your magnet in straight away after it because it's churned up all the silt.
Yeah.
And you're more likely to get some good stuff. I mean, there's a place near me. I actually found a Nazi coin in an old cigarette tin in the canal. And the rumour was that there was an old man and he threw all his World War II memorabilia in. Mm-hmm. That was the only thing I found. Anyway, last week, they dredged it and found all the mortar bombs and stuff that he'd thrown in. So it turns out it was there, it was just under the silt.
The silt makes perfect sense.
I'd just seen a question by, I can't remember his name, asking me if I've ever been in a situation.
Gareth Howard, that one was. I was about to ask you that. Have you ever been in a situation that you could call dangerous, e.g. gangs of youths and such like?
Yes, I have. There's a bit more danger to magnet fishing than metal detector. I mean, usually if you're magnet fishing, you are in a rural area where, and usually the bad areas are the best areas to do it in. So yeah, you do get gangs of youths or drunken people or druggies coming up trying to take camera equipment and stuff like that. Yeah, I mean, there's been a few occasions where I've had to fend for myself, and yeah, I've not filmed it. There's evidence then, but
that's mad.
But yeah, I mean, it happens. It's like I say in my tutorial videos. Always try and go with someone. I mean, if you're by yourself, you are more of a target. Whereas if there's a group of you, or even at least two of you, you are less likely to get anything. But I'm a very good people watcher. So I mean, if you watch my videos, I try and cut it out as much as I can. I'm always looking around. I'm constantly watching to see if anyone's sneaking up on me or something like that.
Luke's just running through the images that you sent over, and there's one there of a motorbike that you've found.
Yeah, that was recent. That's a VFR 400, 1989, if I can remember correctly.
That must have been a bit difficult to get out.
Oh, that took 2 hours to pull out. That was heavy. We had a winch on it and everything, 10-ton winch. Yeah, I mean, that bike, we managed to track it down. The owner, we found the owner, got it back to him. And yeah, I mean, although it was knackered and stuff, it was just, he was happy that he knew where it was and got it back. So.
Yeah. So again, probable case of somebody robbing it and throwing it in the was it canal or river?
Canal, yeah. That on screen now, there's an old Victorian-looking iron. I actually found that magnet fishing.
That's lovely.
That was in the canal next to an old Georgian farm building.
And that'd make a fantastic doorstop as well.
Yeah, I mean, my missus says it's just a big big piece of metal that's just getting in the way. But I mean, someone used that every day. That was part of someone's life. You know what I mean? So,
you know, Brad, I've got a small anchor that I rust treated and sprayed black, and that's what I use as a doorstop in the front room. Buff it up, get a new wooden handle on it or what have you. I'm sure that'll, take a place somewhere.
Yeah, well, that's what I'm going to be doing. So far, I've cleaned all the rust off it. I did electrolysis and got it all nice and cleanish. I still need to do some work on it. I need to treat it as well to stop the rust coming back. The way I tend to treat them is I lacquer them in varnish. Not varnish. Clear, a spray lacquer, spray paint lacquer, the clear version. It just gives that small little protection to stop water getting in and stop the air corroding it. And it preserves it a little bit longer.
Now, for those watching, Luke, if you could switch me on there is a moment, you can see this Preserve It wax. And this is by a gentleman called Graham Dempsey, who we've got on a guest in a couple of weeks. I'll be able to pull up the exact date shortly. He created a composite pencil, cleaning pencil, and also Preserve It wax, which is used to obviously clean and preserve fine.
You'll have to put me on to him.
Certainly will, certainly will. This is just what I'm thinking when you were talking about it. The composite pen, it can do so much by the sounds of it, you know, for cleaning encrusted surfaces and such like that, especially with, he's advised me some of the things to trial it on, which I'll be doing this weekend and obviously putting together some form of review. But Graham will be able to tell you more in depth in himself in a couple of weeks. But that's just what I was thinking when you were talking then about some of the metal detecting finds, you use of electrolysis and such like. Obviously, we've got lots of different manners of, you know, we've cleaned up silver coins, rubbing it in tinfoil and such like. There's so many different things you can do. And maybe that would be an idea for you to look at. And obviously being more or less new to metal detecting, I'm sure there's a lot of things you can take from metal detecting, i.e. the cleaning and preserving, back to magnet fishing.
Yeah, definitely. That's one of the biggest issues I have, and that's preserving something. I mean, obviously with magnet fishing, it's been in the water now. Well, it's been in the water, it could be years, 20 years or more. So pulling stuff out and trying to preserve it can be a bit difficult. So yeah, I mean, I have actually been using quite a lot of stuff I've learned from metal detecting to do stuff with magnet fishing. So, I mean, yeah.
There was a question then from... It's gone off now, sadly. But he said basically he won his first magnet from you on a contest on YouTube a few years ago. What would you advise people to use as their first magnet? What type of magnet there it is? Bags the promo guy. What would you recommend as a good first?
The online magnets, 200 kg magnet. Mate, it's a great beginner's magnet, and it's a great pro magnet. You won't need another magnet after that. It's 40. I think it's off the top of my head about 43 quid.
Now I'm not au fait with the terminology. I've got two types of magnets. I've got the one with the eye on top. So you basically dunk with it, so I'll call it a dunking magnet. And then you've got the other one, which is the both sides, the circular magnet, which I would term as a dredging magnet. What type is that, or what is the official terminology?
So it's called a double-sided magnet, the dredging magnet. That is the one that I'm mentioning. The dunking ones are good for lifting out, but for finding stuff, you kind of want the magnet to be flat on the ground as you're pulling it across, whereas with the hook on the top, it's going to be on a tilt as you're pulling it, and it's going to miss all those finds.
Which again makes perfect sense, and something I haven't taken into account previously, so thank you for that.
Yeah, again, that's why I say the double-sided dredging, it's great for a beginner. You're going to hit that spot, you're going to get everything. It's going to be laid flat against the ground as it's going underneath the water. You're more likely to pick up stuff with that than you are in what you say a dunking magnet.
I had to buy, as I say, I gave away one of my magnets in exchange for some. Because he's a nice chap. He's helped me a hell of a lot in the past. And as I say, I gave him one of my magnets, and I've picked up a double-side round fishing magnet, pulling 4-strong, neodymium magnet.
Neodymium.
As you say, the dredging double-sided one. Vertical tension, £600. So what do you reckon on that?
It depends which company it's from. I mean, you get a lot of companies that say they're say they're that strong, but they're not.
Yeah, true.
Um,
It's a running
also-
fish brand anyway.
Well, I mean, like, if you're going to pick a magnet, go for neodymium. You can get a ferrite one, but ferrites are very fragile, and if you throw it in and there happens to be a rock there, that's it, your magnet's smashed. So, I'd go for neodymium.
Yeah, that's what I got. But I made the mistake. I was looking for something on Amazon. I didn't actually use one of these sites of consequence, what you meant, online magnets that you mentioned. I didn't use.
Yeah, I'm sponsored by Online Magnets, so I mean, obviously, I have to say Online Magnets, but I mean, the only reason why I accepted it is because I believe in their product.
Yeah.
They are a good magnet. They don't lie. They don't say that it can lift 2,000 kg. You know, they just say it as it is. Really, really good for a magnet. You know, it's fantastic.
I'm actually just looking now because I've never been able to do the conversion. £600 is equivalent to 272 kilogram. So that's supposed to be quite good then.
Yeah.
There
So
you go.
that's
Luke's actually doing you some free promotion for you there. So as well as
Online
saying
magnet.
it, you can point them to it and say, look, I've got you on telly here.
If you go down to if you go on recovery and retrieval magnets, you'll see the 200 kg that I mentioned. So it's a 200 kg double-sided. It's absolute. There it is on the right. That's the one with the rope though, but you could just use it as
All right. That's a
a
nice
show.
looking magnet, isn't it?
Yeah, so it is extra money if you buy the rope with it. You can buy the magnet just by itself, and it'll be 43 quid. But the thing is, this is what people don't get. This magnet is in a clamp, and the thing that is magnetized is the disc in the middle.
Yeah.
Now, these companies that don't have it in a clamp tend to be two separate discs
Right.
glued together inside the housing. This isn't. This is one big chunk of magnet inside the clamp. So technically, it's 200 kg per side instead of 100 kg per side.
Yeah, I'm with you. Well, Mrs. Sadler starts a new job tomorrow. So she's got a first 12-hour day tomorrow, and she's doing Saturday as well. Sadly, I've got to take the children to dentist and such like tomorrow. So, weather conditions permitting, I think me and Arkeo Boy might go out and play with the magnets around Congleton.
Why not? Why
And
not?
as you say, now I've got the second magnet I bought. I've got two. I've got what you call them, dredging magnets. I've got two of them now, so I'll obviously use them as opposed to the dunking magnet. Is my terminology brilliant?
If anyone is interested in getting a magnet from Online Magnets, I do have a discount code. It's 10 and then lowercase off. So 10 off, and you will get 10% discount.
Oh, marvellous, thank you.
Oh, and it's next day delivery.
Is it really? That's not bad, is it?
Yeah.
That
I
makes
told
it-
you, I only work with the best.
Well, obviously, you're on here, so yeah, we'll give you that. So what's next then, Brad? Have you got any plans this weekend?
Yes, I shall be magnet fishing this Saturday, and then I'm being forced off work for 2 weeks because I've not taken holidays, and it's use 'em or lose 'em, so I shall be metal detecting.
Marvellous.
Today is actually my last day in. Yeah!
Yes, Mr. Pettican, South Coast Detecting. Aaron, how do you know about Winsford? How on earth do you know about Winsford? And Mr. Pettican, yes, I have to do a video with on magnet fishing because the boy Sadler makes me, even though I can't stand it. I'll let him be on it and let him. It's his program, not mine. It's for the boy. I'm quite happy to do a historical review of a location, i.e., there's a place called the Bridestones Neolithic Burial Cairn near myself. I keep promising to go and do a video on that. There's numerous videos I've done of Tintagel and other places in the past. One actually, the old shop, I think, or the old post office in Tintagel. I actually got to interview the archaeologist on site, which for me was fantastic. But yeah, I'd rather do a historical video.
Someone snuck in. 1 sec.
Oh, and he's off. Somebody might have snuck in. So I tend to not do metal detecting videos because I can't get my head around doing two things at once. And as I say, I would prefer to video the boy and let him have the fun of doing magnet fishing. But all of these will be on the archmdmag.tv anyway in the near future. So while he's away checking what he's doing, I'll run through the lineup for the next couple of weeks. Now, next week, it's a totally new type of guest to what that we're used to on the big metal detecting radio show. His name is Mariusz Milka. He's a Polish gentleman who lives in between Poland, England and Croatia. And next week he will be broadcasting from Croatia. He is he produces photogrammetry of heritage, i.e. The reason we got in communication was because we shared a number of his 3D imagery on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine. Basically, he'll go scuba diving and using very, very posh photography kit, take multiple photographs of submerged things, i.e. boats. There's all sorts of things, anchors, whatnot, in different areas. And he makes that into a 3D version, which you're able to look at on his website. And it's absolutely fascinating. As well as that, though, don't be thinking we're going away and just doing about scuba diving and such like. He's also a metal detectorist as well. So you'll be able to hear a lot about that side of what he's done in different countries, Croatia, Poland and England. I'm just running through the lineup for the next couple of weeks while you were away.
Sorry about that.
Don't
I
worry.
had a bunch of kids sneak into my centre.
Marvellous.
Into my building, so I had to go and scream at them. I'm currently at work, by the way, everyone. So,
but we're not saying where, it's a secret.
We're not saying where, it's a secret, but I had some people sneak in that shouldn't have been in the building.
And I got a fantastic photograph of your office before we started as well. So next week is the 27th of February. On the 5th of March, we introduce Mr. Mark Betcher of Detectable and Metal Detectives, and we'll be talking all things detectable and spring detectable and whatnot. Following that, mentioned earlier, the 12th of March, Mr. Graham Dempsey, the Preserve It pencil and wax developer. And then provisionally, we're just waiting for confirmation on the 19th of March, Mr. Gary Cook discussing the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally, last year's totals, what we'll look forward to this year, and much, much more. So that's our current lineup for the next 5 weeks. Look how ahead of schedule I am. And I also know Luke's got 1 or 2 people in the bag to include in the coming months as well. I didn't know that, Mr. Aaron. Aaron Weedle actually used to live in Wentsford about 20 years ago. Very small world. I was actually working in Wentsford probably around 20 years ago for a company called, I was working for a company called Cleanright Industrial Cleaners and working in Northwich and Winsford for a company called Wiztech, which you may have heard of a long time ago. God, my eyes were clearer and less baggy then.
You probably worked with him.
I probably... Do you know, it's me and Aaron have got so many synchronicities, it's untrue. We're both published authors in exactly the same field, for one. So it's there's a number of things. We also found out a couple of weeks ago, because his name popped up on another group that I'm on, is that we're both former employees of Butlins as well. So we've got multiple little synchronicities going on. So it wouldn't surprise me.
What's that? Brad is going to talk about the Dr. Otek machine.
Yes, she wants to give mention to the Dr. Otek machine and your thoughts on that.
Yeah. Right. The whole idea why I asked why I wanted to bring this up is because I'm doing a raffle. I, a few months ago, was given 2 machines by Dr. Otech, which are, how would you say it? A budget metal detectorist machine? Would you say it like that? My experience, as looking at it as a complete newbie beginner, I think it's an amazing machine. For the price, it's £100, and I'd say, it's really good. It's not the best, but you got to remember this is aimed at very new beginners, and I think it's absolutely fantastic. Now, what I'm doing is, because I was given a spare, is I want to raise some money for the Princess Trust. They make wigs out of people's hair for children with cancer, but it costs £550 per wig to make.
Wow.
They get a lot of hair donations, but they don't get a lot of money donations. So what I want to do is do a raffle at like £1 each, and try and raise some money. So, I mean, if you end up following me after today or something, just look out for that. I'm planning on starting it around the end of February, so next week.
Well, any exposure you need on that, obviously, we're more than happy to give mention to that anyway on our social media sites and whatnot. So, any pointers you want to give, if you make a video with all the details on, we'll play that for you, no problem.
Thank you very much. Yeah, I should be releasing it. I'm going to film it this week whilst I'm off work. I should be releasing it around the end of February. Like I said, this detector is mainly aimed at people who don't detect, or even if you are a detectorist, maybe you know someone that wants to get into it but don't want to spend a lot of money, you know what I mean? So £1 for a basic machine, but a good one. People have different views on it, but I think for the price and for who it's really aimed at, I think it's actually quite good. I mean, it's got all the display on it. It's like I'm trying to compare it to a different one. The display, I mean, it gives you readings and different tone signals, and even lights up. So I think it's pretty good, especially for a newbie. You got to remember that this is aimed at newbies.
Both myself and Luke were sent the machine as well. Luke's, I think, got a video up on his UK Dirt Fishing page, or it might be called South East Metal Detecting Rallies group. Now I'm not 100% sure. He'll let me know. I also had one, and I'm going to take the Fifth Amendment.
Yeah, but I mean, like, you got to remember that this machine, it ain't a professional machine like us, like what we use. This machine is for a beginner. I mean, say you've got a kid who's 14 and he's like, Dad, I really want to try it. I want to try it. Do you really want to spend £600 on an expensive detector? Or even $250 for a Garrett Ace? Because, I mean, like, I can guarantee you, if he doesn't catch on with it, it'll just sit in the cupboard. You know what I mean? At least it's a good budget machine.
Are they magnetic, so you can pull them out of the canal with a magnet?
I guess so. The stems are metal.
I didn't think much of it, quality or anything, but I'm not the type of person who would make a good reviewer of metal detecting machines. I could give my own advice, but there's far too many people out there more able and more adept at making a comment on machines like that. So I've just received another message from Gary Cook regarding the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally weekender. Just a reminder to all who came to the rallies in 2018 and 19, tonight is your last chance to take advantage of the early bird tickets. Please, if you want to purchase a place at this year's event, check your emails, as tickets will go on general release tomorrow. So the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally general release of tickets takes place tomorrow. 250 tickets have been sold since Monday night, which is incredible. A huge thanks to everybody from the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally team. So please, if you are interested in going to the Rodney Cook Memorial Rally in Wiltshire, I think, this September, please keep your eye out for all the information that you'll need. As I say, tonight is the last chance for the early bird tickets, and myself and Luke went last year and thoroughly enjoyed it. It was where Detectival is a lot more festival and everything going on. It was a lot more refined and relaxed. It was a totally different feeling in that respect, but it was really, really much as enjoyable as Detectival. Can't speak highly enough for either. And also, don't forget those who are interested in the Rally of the North this year, Detecticon, which is North of the Tyne Metal Detecting Group's rally in Northumberland. The tickets are on sale for that at the moment, I think. And you can, yes, they are. They were released this week. Scotty B will be able to give you more information, or just search for Detecticon, which is a cool name because I came up with it because it reminded me of Decepticon, and it was also my name for a detecting convention. So that's I'd let Scotty have that. He'd do much better with it than I would. So, Brad, anything else you'd like to add before we go?
Yeah, I saw a question earlier. I don't know who said it now. It was ages ago. The question was, are you going to Spring Detectival? Yes, I am. I shall be at Spring Detectival. Come over, say hi to me. I may look horrible, but I'm not. I'm a nice person. Unless I'm in a mood, and I'll just tell you to do one.
Brad ourselves will be there, and we'll be releasing this year's first edition of the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine paper version. So if you would be interested in including any articles or such like in that, please give myself or Luke a shout, and I'm sure we'll be able to sort that out as well.
Oh, yeah, definitely. I'm going to hold you to that. Yeah, definitely. I'd love to be in there.
Honestly, please do. We'd be more than happy to. And anybody else who'd like any articles either included on the Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine, on our website itself, via social media, or all actually in the printed versions this year, please feel free to contact us, and I'm sure we'll be able to sort something out. Adam Weedle asks, are you going to be signing autographs, Brad?
I don't have anything to sign. I've got some stickers with my signature on. You can have one of those.
Is that the one Pomsy Metal Detecting's going on about, saying, can I get a sticker that's actually sticky this time?
Yeah, those were my first ever batch that you got. So, the quality's improved a lot now. But yeah, come over and see me. I'll be at the LP stall. LP are fantastic. Big fan of LP. So yeah, I'll be over there chatting away. Well, when I say chatting away, I'll just be sat there silent, but yeah.
Do you know, Brad, when you're talking about stickers, your first batch weren't sticky. This was our first sticker. I thought they were going to be massive. Tiny. And don't forget anybody...
I don't know what you... You see, my first batch of stickers, some people have said they weren't sticky, right? I put them on my car, and when I sold the car, I had to peel them off, and it peeled the protective layer off the car.
That'll be the sun melting the glue into the paint.
it peeled it off, so I had a big mark where these stickers were. I had to try and fix it. I still got 500 quid for the car, so I was happy.
What was I say then? Oh, yeah, that was it. If anybody who's watching, you'll notice that I've got an LP hat on myself tonight. And the reason I mentioned it, as has Brad. The reason being is that obviously pixelation of my head doesn't look great during the green screen production. So I've got several hats now that I'll be swapping between, and also some T-shirts as well that I'll be changing that I've got. So if anybody would like me to wear one of their hats or as a little bit of advertising or a T-shirt, get in contact with me and I'll throw that on, no problem whatsoever. And hopefully, well, as you'll see tonight, the LP green, it's got the green screen thing going on every now and again as well. There you go. When we mentioned in the printed copies of the magazines as well, where's my finger going? There's a finger. There you go. That's last year's. So you've got the Rodney Cook with Gary Cook on the front. You've got Detectable with Addicted to Bleeps on. You've got the Detectable one, which we made for Minelab. That was their official magazine of the Detectable event. And that one, which I can't see what it is. I can't. Oh, that's the YouTuber edition. So that was... No, can't remember which is which now. But they were last year's 4 printed copies of the magazines anyway. And obviously you can pick them up at events if your organisation, group, etc., would like to receive copies for dissemination to your metal detecting friends, members, what have you. We'll be able to sort that out as well. One of the other things as well, if anybody is a future guest, as Brad mentioned tonight, he'll be running a raffle in a couple of weeks. Last week, Scotty B ran a competition on his Facebook page, and we were able to draw that live on the show, as we did with the National Council for Metal Detecting Christmas Draw. So if anybody in the future would like to be a guest and run some form of competition, we'd be happy to do that as well. South Coast Rallies Metal Detecting Group actually do a semi-regular event where people on their Facebook page, they will get all the names, then do a random name generator, and the people who or person who wins in that random name generator generally receives a free dig via South Coast Rallies Metal Detecting Group. So again, any groups who would like to do that, again, promote their rallies, please contact me. And if you could you run it in your own time and then contact me during the show, and we'll be able to announce who the winner of that is. So anything like that, please feel free to contact us. And if there's anything else you'd like to put through our social media, any, as I say, articles or anything else, again, please give us a shout. Brad, it's been an absolute pleasure speaking this evening.
Yeah, thank you for having me.
And I hope you're going to find a big stick now and go hunting youths.
Yeah, well, they're out the building now, so we're all good. Before we go, let me just say, thanks for having me on the show. It's been great. I've had a proper laugh, other than those idiots coming in. But it's been great. And, if anybody's interested in magnet fishing, check out Online Magnets. And if you're, metal detecting wise, look up Ledger Promotions Metal Detecting. I'm not sponsored by them, so this is me saying it. They are a really good metal detecting shop, and their team is awesome. They know how to have a laugh and make the hobby enjoyable. So, brilliant. Yeah, go check them out if you need a metal detector.
A last comment from Aaron Weedle at South Coast Detecting. He's going to be giving away a Spring Detectable ticket on his YouTube channel. So get over there to South Coast Detecting to learn more. As I say, Brad, it's been an absolute pleasure. Welcome back any time. Give us a shout and we'll add you into the list. No problem whatsoever. And good luck with whatever you're doing over the next couple of weeks. Magnet fishing.
Oh, yeah.
Metal detecting and with the raffle.
Yeah, I'll be posting it all online, so everyone shall see.
Well, if I do miss anything, just tag me in something, because generally, if I might be at work, and if I'm not at work, I'm generally falling asleep somewhere. So
You sound like me.
Poke me. Poke me to tell me what you want me to know. And the same goes for everyone else. Thanks to Graham Stokes for pointing out that Cheshire Detecting rally with Detecting for Veterans as well. Thank you very much for that. Finally tonight, thank you as ever to Treasure Hunting Magazine, Leisure Promotions, Regdon's, North of Time, Metal Detecting Club, South Coast Detecting YouTube, Metal Detecting Media Facebook, South East Metal Detecting Rallies, Steve Pettican, the Debays, who are Dirt Diggers UK. I hope I've got that right. I'm going to have to reprint this out now. I've got a new printer. Find a Field Metal Detecting Club, Tony Kaywood, Gary Cook, Gary Blackwell, and if I haven't mentioned you, thank you anyway. It's been an absolute pleasure. We're back next week, as I say, with can't remember his name. Marius, that's it. And I haven't even looked then. It just came back to me in a flash. Thanks all, everybody, on the TV, on the radio, and we will speak to you all next week. Good night.
The Archaeology and Metal Detecting magazine acts as a hub for information, offering articles from archaeologists, detectorists and other specialists throughout the genre, featuring many links, event info and news articles associated to archaeology and metal detecting. We also offer professional review services and promotion for books, resources, videos, documentaries, gadgets, equipment and much, much more. The magazine is run by the archaeological and metal detecting community for the archaeological and metal detecting community. So come visit us at archmdmag.com, that's archmdmag.com, and check out information from our media section with all the latest content, news from the Archaeology channel, podcasts and the YouTube channels that feature the now legendary Digger Dawn, the Man with the Hat and Archeo Duck, just to name a few. If you would like to offer an article, link or inquire about other services, then pay us a visit at archmdmag.com and drop us a line.